To some extent, he's saying people from the African continent are stupid, which is absolutely crazy.
So my question, you tended to assign a lot of individual agency to people. And one of the things we stressed when we were discussing as a student group was the problem with that narrative is obviously it creates this idea that, well, if you're poor, then it's your fault, right? You didn't have the right genetics, you didn't have the skills. But when we know that there are all these historical injustices, when we know that there's all this inequality in the world, the kind of conclusion that you reach with a narrative like that is that, well, African Americans in the United States must simply be stupider, right? They didn't reach to the top the way white Americans did. So wouldn't you agree that that sort of narrative kind of encourages the idea that the people at the top automatically must have deserved it, and the people at the bottom, well, it's just kind of their problem. There's something wrong with them.
So I'd start off by saying that the truth might be extremely ugly, and we should never say that's not true because it doesn't sound like something we want to say. That's just hard reality. That doesn't mean that the harsh, cold reality is, or the harshest, coldest story is true, but you should always be open to the harsh and the cold.
To some extent, he's saying people from the African continent are stupid, which is absolutely crazy. Because, in a sense, he's saying, I'm possibly stupid, which is not necessarily the case. And so, I think he could have found a way to say maybe people lack the motivation. If people had more motivation and drive, I think that would have been way better. Just straight off saying people are lazy, ignoring other important factors, I would say that's very discriminatory and disturbing.